Hello guys and welcome back to the vault. Now that was a very 2010 YouTubey start, but I actually have a really sick video for you today. So I'm actually going through my film collection. Now while it doesn't look like a great film collection in terms of volume, there aren't hundreds of DVDs here. I've only actually started building this within the last year or so. And what I mean by so is I have plenty of DVDs, right? Those childhood DVDs, the ones you get for Christmases, all that sort of thing. But this is my real collection. This is one that I've put my own money into. This is like trying to buy 4Ks only with the odd Blu-ray deal here and there. I'll get into that in a minute, but I do have it written down here. If my iPad wasn't locked, that would be great. But I do have 16 4K DVDs in this pile here. There is actually only 14 DVDs here. That's because one of the DVDs is a 3-in-1, and not because it's all on one disc. There is 3 separate discs, but I will get to it and it will all make sense. Now I do have an additional 13 4K DVDs in these box sets, which you can see sort of slightly out of focus here, and that is the Harry Potter film collection and the Pirates of the Caribbean film collection. Now I kind of separate them, but if you add up all the numbers together, I've got 29 4K DVDs, separate films, right? But some of them just come in these really nice sort of boxes, which I like to keep together. Now, I also have 9 Blu-rays here. Now, these Blu-rays, I love Blu-rays. Blu-rays are great, right? And they're a great alternative. And that's like, as in great alternative to still watch something on really high quality whilst it's not actually being 4K. Now, the main thing I do want to touch on is these DVDs here in the UK. You can get them from HMV, you know, your Tesco's, places like that. But typically like HMV, or if you buy secondhand online, or typically Amazon, they're about £20 to £25 a pop. Now HMV, which is basically the local, I don't know what you'd call it in America, and I doubt there are any Americans watching, but it's basically where you can get DVDs and all sorts of stuff like vinyls and posters and things like that, right? Music, you know, TV, CDs, all that sort of good stuff. So they do deals where it's like 3 for £40, or they'll do like 2 for £20. So you can get 2 for £10 each, which is unbelievably good deal. Or normally it's 2 for 25 or 2 for 30, something like that. But it's just a little bit you got to actually lay out initially. So if you do the math, I have laid out a little bit here whilst not going too crazy. But let's just get into it. I'm talking too much as usual. Let's see what the first one is. So the first film here, it's just because it's on top of the pile, is actually Barbie. Now I bought this in one of those HMV deals that I talked about. Me and my fiance wanted to watch a film on like a Saturday night, get a pizza in. I didn't want to torture her through some of the other ones here, so I thought, you know, go out and get a new one, get Barbie. I must say, terrible, like terrible. Would never ever watch this. It's not necessarily a review for these films. I'm just kind of going to briefly go through them and just tell you my rough thoughts. If you want to break down any of these, just let me know down below and I'll probably do it, but just a shit film. Next on the list then is the original Godzilla. Now, not the original. We all know how many iterations of Godzilla there has been, but this is like the modern original. I think this is the 2015 release. It might be around then. Is it 2015? I think it might be. It might have been 2015, but really, really great film. Absolutely love this one. Kind of a Godzilla like modern day classic, as I said. Proper great film. Really enjoy it, and even better on 4K. Following on with the Godzilla theme then, this is Godzilla the King of Monsters, and as you can probably hear and see, it's still got the plastic film on. That is because I did actually watch this film like just before I bought the 4K DVD, and I've just never got round to actually unboxing it and watching it again. There's been so much other stuff I've been watching recently, but this definitely is going to come out of the seal soon and going to be rewatched, because I just love a good Godzilla film. I love the chaos, I love the CGI, I love the big action thriller sci-fi stuff that we get, and we don't get enough of it anymore. I think the DVD is actually rattling around in there, so I need to open that and make sure it's all good, but another great film nonetheless. Again, with another modern classic, we've got John Wick 4. Absolutely love this film. Recently announced that they're going to be making John Wick 5, which is just brilliant. I absolutely love John Wick, and I think they should just allow these to be open. I don't want them to be ruined at the Fast and Furious franchise, but 4 films in, and this was just probably my favourite one yet. Just had everything I wanted from it. As you can see from the back, it actually does have £24.99 written on it. So that does show that this was a £25 film. It's just it's an expensive hobby, guys, this is, all right? So you do have to pick your films, and you can only buy maybe 1 or so a month if you're like me, trying to be careful with money and not overspend on stuff like this. But yeah, this is an absolutely great film. If you haven't seen the John Wick series, I seriously recommend you do that. Potentially should have gone to this one after Godzilla, but sticking on the mega giant monster theme, this is Kong Skull Island, an absolute complete great modern day classic film. I'm gonna have to stop using that. I'm gonna overuse that phrase on every single film, but this is one of those ones that I feel like really benefited from being on Netflix. Has all the right actors in it, you know, Tom Hiddleston, Samuel Jackson, Brie Larson. There's plenty of good actors in this, right? And it has that element of, you know, stardom, superpower. Kong himself is a massive character as well, so I did really enjoy this film. There's some ridiculous moments, you know, particularly the one where the guy gets whacked by the dinosaur's tail and he just goes flying off into the mountains. It's ridiculous, but an absolute great film, and really do recommend you watch this one. This is the film I'm actually really excited just to quickly mention, is Rambo First Blood. Now, if you haven't seen this, it is Sylvester Stallone, probably, in my opinion, his greatest work. I don't know why. I've always remembered this film from being a kid, but never rewatched it in my adult life to actually appreciate and really take note of everything that's going on. But I bought this recently for that reason, to watch it through properly and really take it in, and it's amazing, the depth in the character whilst, you know, not talking really until the end when he gives his big speech to the sergeant. It's brilliant, and it's really, honestly, the fact that Sylvester Stallone isn't remembered more for this than he is Rocky, I'm really surprised. But everyone does know Rambo, I feel like. But this First Blood is an absolute classic. Please do yourself a favour and watch this one if you haven't already. I've just realised the whole way through this, on this screen here, I've had my booking up for View Cinema, which is a cinema here in the UK, for the Revenge of the Sith anniversary. So if you've seen that, hopefully you didn't get the booking number and I've probably blurred it, but I have booked that. And so I'm really excited to go and watch it in theatres, as I can't remember when I went to go and see it when I was like 8 years old. So I'm super excited to go and watch that for the 20-year anniversary, I think it is. So yeah, really, really looking forward to that. But moving on to the next set of films. This is the three-peat box. Now, you can probably see behind me, that's how I realise, is you've got Hot Fuzz, which is low-key my favourite film, along with my actual favourite film, which is Back to the Future Part 2, right? And that's because it's always been a classic on me that shaped me. I think your favourite films aren't necessarily ones that are the most cinematic, or the ones that mean the most to you because of when you watch them, who you watch them with, all those sort of things. So anyway, this is a three-peat box that I actually got for Christmas. I probably would have bought them individually if it was me, but, you know, I'm super, super grateful for the gift, and they're all 4Ks. We've got Shaun of the Dead in there, we've got Hot Fuzz, and we've got The World's End, you know, the Cornetto trilogy. Some people think Paul's in it, but I don't know why they think that, because there's no mention of a cornetto in there. So yeah, I absolutely love these three films, and if anyone knows me, they will know that these, like, I hold these so dear to my heart, and if you haven't seen any of them, it's basically a hate crime. So please do go online and make sure you watch them somewhere. Get to your local DVD shop, get to HMV, get this 3-pack, or just buy single DVDs, or stream it. I'm sure it's somewhere, but we do recommend watching DVDs 4K. I am going to rattle these two off in one because we have got Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, this film is still in the film, as you can see. It's the worst out of the 9 Star Wars films for me personally. I don't typically intend on watching it in 4K. I got this DVD, believe it or not, for about £4 in a sale on eBay, and it is full 4K. It's not fake, it's not anything. It's completely still in the wrapper. I just took it. Why not? And this one here, I'm pretty sure I got in the same bundle from the same guy. This is actually one of my more favourite Star Wars films, and it's a shame that the other two didn't go down this route. But I'm just going to show these off just because they're in the pile in the collection. But I don't want to be too negative and talk about the modern Star Warses when I don't really like them. So we'll move on from that. But a film that's already got to mention is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Super happy to have this one in 4K. My favourite Star Wars film ever. The film that really made me fall in love with Star Wars. I was a bit of a weird kid. I watched them all backwards because I wasn't quite old enough to catch the first two. So I watched this one as my first ever Star Wars film, and I just completely fell in love with it. And it's so good to watch this in full 4K, I must say. It's glorious, and I cannot wait to see it on the big screen in a couple of weeks. Okay, we're moving into now what I would call the banger section. Now, these are probably my favourite films as of 2024 or so, or there was a point last year when these were my favourite films, and these were the first couple of ones that I actually got. Now, that is Tenet. I absolutely love Tenet. It didn't make sense to me the first couple of times, and it still potentially doesn't make sense to me now, but what I've learned is it's very much about interpretation and trying to watch it a couple of times to really understand it. But this is where I kind of fell in love with the modern day Robert Pattinson, and I think that's something I can get away with saying, because him previously wasn't an actor that I really cared about, but in this, in the Batman Part 1, in Mickey recently, in Mickey 17, he's just been brilliant, and I'm a big fan of him in this film. I think he's absolutely fantastic. You know, him and Josh David Washington, should know that name, it's very offensive of me, is class. So yeah, definitely a must watch this one. Absolutely love Tenet. I'm just going to keep this rolling here and just put them down because it's getting on too long here. But the next one, I absolutely love this as well, Top Gun Maverick. Now again, you can see I paid $24.99 for that, if that focused enough. But the funny story about this film, I actually got this from HMV and came home, put it into the DVD player one night, sat down to watch it, you know, maybe that weekend. And after about 10 minutes, I was like, maybe they've shot this in the same style as the original. Wow, they have actually. Wow, have they used CGI on his face? He looks young. Oh, no, wait a minute. They've put the original Top Gun in Top Gun Maverick. So what happens at HMV as well is they don't actually display the DVDs out. So they'll look like this, but they just won't have any actual DVDs in there, right? Because the cardboard and the case isn't worth too much. So what they'll do is they'll leave the DVDs in cases behind the tills. So you take this up and then they go through the case, pull out the DVD and put it in front of you. Me and the lady both just saw Top Gun. I went, yeah, that's fine, and she put it in. So I did actually watch Top Gun in full 4K, but then went back the next day to make sure I get the right film, which I did. Then came home and watched this one. Huge Tom Cruise fan, bit of a weird bloke, but absolutely great in action films. We've got my favourite film of 2024, which is Oppenheimer. I absolutely love this film. It feels like an age has passed since this came out, and you know, it feels like it was 10 years ago. Everyone's seen this, everyone knows what it's about. Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., you know, the absolute GOAT himself, Cillian Murphy. An amazing film. And another funny story about this is I actually went to watch this with all of my friend group. There was 6 of us, and I'm the film nerd, right? I'm the one that goes on about it all the time, and I'd worked loads that week, like loads, and we went really late on a Friday, and I actually fell asleep during this, and I missed the bomb scene, or I woke up just after it. That's what actually kind of made me wake up, and I didn't tell my friends I fell asleep. I pretended that I'd seen it because I didn't want to face the embarrassment, and I quickly went back to the cinema to watch it, but then I got it on 4K DVD as well to make sure I can watch it at home. So a nice funny story around that one, but yeah, an amazing film and really good to watch on 4K. Okay, the last film out of these single 4K editions is Wonka. Now, I just want to really quickly touch on this one, but I must really say how this is such an underrated film. This is like a great film. Like, I believe it came out 2 years ago now. I want to say it was 2023, but it might have been 2024. I think this is such an underrated film. I wasn't aware of how fun it was, how good it was. I brought this because me and my fiance, she wanted to watch a film on a weekend that was fun and chill, wasn't too serious, so I went and picked this up as I hadn't seen it yet, and I fell in love with Timothée Chalamet. I love him in Dune, I love him in this. He's fantastic, he's really captivating, and if you haven't seen this yet and you're holding on to that whole Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that came out when we were kids, you know, that was my childhood with Willy Wonka and stuff, you know, this is a completely different take, and I really think you'll enjoy it. And if you just let go and just have fun, this is a really great film. So yeah, big up to Wonka. This is like really like top 3 probably. Okay, now I'm not going to potentially go through all the films individually, but the Pirates of the Caribbean box set is really cool actually. So they all come with really cool artwork on them. They are all slightly different in colour. I mean, you've got 2 reds there, a green, a black and a blue. I mean, more orange, but they are cool. They've got the standard artwork on them. They don't come as full DVDs when they come in these box sets. I'm sure if some of you have them, you'll know they come as these sort of cool prints, photos behind them, and a really sort of thin sleeve. But obviously they're all meant to be kept together in the big box anyway. But I've watched through all of these, as most people would have probably done. I don't think I've watched through them all in this 4K format actually. I don't want to lie to anyone. I believe I have, but I've watched all of them from, you know, many a year before, and I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I love Johnny Depp. I think he's excellent. I don't really care what's going on now. The same way I still listen to Billie Jean and Thriller is the same way I will continue to enjoy these films for the moments in time that they were, the moments when I enjoyed them when I was a kid. And yeah, I absolutely love watching these. I recommend, if you haven't seen Pirates of the Caribbean, I'm not sure how you take it now. I'm not sure if it's had to be their sort of funny moment. I think Jack Sparrow is probably a forever character, so if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. Finally then, when it comes to the box sets, I've got the Harry Potter 8 film edition. Now again, similarly to the Pirates of the Caribbean box set, these actually, because there's 8 of them, do come in full DVD cases, but as you can see, you get 2 sides to the DVD that are basically both the front of the DVD, and then they've split up the DVDs just like that, and you've got a bonus track and stuff in there. Oh, we've actually got 2 Blu-ray versions, sorry, both got Blu-ray and 4K versions. Now I do remember this now, actually, this box set was actually really expensive. I believe it was around 80 or 90 pound. Now obviously when you break it up film by film and the Blu-rays and all things like that, it's actually a really good deal. And I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. It's really nice to have them all in this sort of big box set. It's ones I'll be able to keep this forever, show my kids, my grandkids, you know, this is history for me and it's part of my childhood, so I'm super happy to have it like that. And yeah, I'm really happy with my 4K films. I need to build up this collection. I need more. The issue, same as everyone, is always money, right? I'd have 100 of these if I could, but it's slowly getting there. They're going to get up on a shelf soon. And there's a little bit more to my Blu-ray collection. I kind of went ham last year and bought a new TV, a new soundbar, a new DVD system, so I can watch everything in 4K, a Dolby Atmos, all that stuff, Philips Ambilight, all on the TV. But the separate video will be coming on that at a later date. So let's just get into the Blu-rays. So slightly differently, I'm going to just be kind of running through the Blu-rays from the top of my head, and that's simply because I don't think they're as interesting, especially because I don't have a huge collection of them. I watch Blu-ray videos all the time, people looking at hundreds and hundreds. I only have 9 here, and I just want to talk about not just the actual films, but why I have them or how I have them. So we'll just quickly go over them. Spider-Man 3, complete classic. Avengers Age of Ultron, and again, love superhero films. Buried. Again, I'll explain why I got this, but it's still in the seal, brand new, in the seal, got a sticker on and everything. Ryan Reynolds, really want to see this, so looking forward to that. Casino Royale, my favourite James Bond film, mainly because of the poker in it. I absolutely love poker. We've got Captain America Civil War. Again, this came out when I was 16, Spider-Man in it. Amazing, amazing film. Never thought that would be possible, never thought that would happen. After watching Amazing Spider-Man 2 in 2014, this came out in 2016. Just can't believe it. Amazing that Spider-Man's in this. It was an insane time in the MCU back then. Again, another classic, which I have seen, just not this version. It says 2 for 13 there, or £8 each, and this is The Godfather. Again, ignore that sticker, there's a point I'm going to make in a minute. Two Guns, another fun action film, one that you just have to have in your collection if you've got friends around having a pizza, that sort of thing, and you want to chuck something on that's just going to be fun and laugh and just watch cool action. This is the one. We have got another Star Wars, so I haven't got Phantom Menace as a little bit of a spoiler, but I do have Attack of the Clones, so I've nearly got that original 3, but I kind of just want to get them in 4K. If you're a collector like me, you know it hurts having Blu-ray and 4K and all, you want them all at unison, right? So I'll get there. And then the final one is X-Men Last Stand. So I got this for, I think it was probably 20p, maybe it was 50p. I'd concede that if you told me it was 50p that I paid, I'd believe you. But all of these are from, again, no, not HMV, sorry, they're from a shop called CEX, which here in the UK is like it's basically like a GameStop where you can take in and trade in your games and your consoles, and you can buy things for super cheap as well, right? Or secondhand and somewhat cheap. I still don't understand why everyone goes there. I'd much rather get things off eBay. But I got all of these from there. I probably paid a total of about £20 for all of these here, maybe even less. And that's why I love Blu-ray. They seem to have slightly gone out of fashion. Maybe it's because there are a lot of them around and that's why they're so cheap. Because like I said, some of these here were like 50p. The Two Guns one, 50p. The Godfather, I didn't pay to £8 for it. That must have been an original sticker because it was in the £1 or £2 bin or something like that. Casino Royale, 50p. Buried, 50p. Haven't opened it. So get down your local CEXs, guys. Look in your charity shops. There are Blu-rays in there. There are great films. Even if you can just add to the collection, make the pile bigger, and then one day when you're bored, you can watch it. Who knows? Something might come around where we're stuck in our houses for a year. Who knows? And you might have a couple of films that you've bought but you've never seen. So yeah, that is my collection. That is everything I've got in terms of DVDs at the moment. We're getting there. We're building them slowly. There's more to come. I want to do DVD hunts. I want to do some videos of me out looking for stuff, buying things, maybe even reselling a couple of things if I manage to find anything good. I've got a huge collection of PS3, PS2 and PS5 games. No PS4, unfortunately. I got rid of all of those a few years ago. But I do have all the original games. If you want to see me go through them, please let me know. I appreciate you guys sticking around for the long video. If you could like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, all the stuff that helps, I'd super appreciate it. This has been The Vault. Speak to you next time.